Welcome to the tale of Chibi Robo. Chibi Robo is a house cleaning robot made by Citrosoft designed to do various jobs in households, hence the house cleaning part. He usually is accompanied by his friend Television, a flying 240p monitor, and works for the Sanderson family. He constantly needs to recharge because for some reason his battery only lasts a few minutes. Maybe because he comes with a hammer space built inside of his head, which is usually full of trash. Chibi can also use his plug to latch onto various surfaces and or do damage to them to nearby stuff. After his invitation to SSF2, Chibi was ecstatic to finally get a spotlight after so many years. Ziplash was decent, but not really a Chibi Robo game if you ask me, and even went back to the Citrosoft HQ to get a few new coats of paint. After arriving to SSF2 in time, he was originally praised to be a formidable fighter on his own, and one of the most interesting characters in terms of movement creativity as well. However, people soon realized his glaring flaws. After all, a house cleaning robot might not be that good of a fighter, even with Telly's moral support. Although, there were a few smashers that tried to support him, such as Z. Chibi Robo nonetheless fell into a deep depression because most people were either ignoring him flat out or calling him terrible. To make himself more useful, Chibi signed up as Black Mage's lab robot. His tasks ranged from disgusting to painful, and he reached his low point when he saw that he was dead last on the first BR tier list. Just when he was ready to leave SSF2 again and go back to the Sanderson, a new face showed up, interested in what he could possibly do with the claimed worst character in the game. After a crushing 5-0 defeat, he was forced to stick with his trash can, but vowed to optimize Chibi to the best of his abilities, to reach the peak, 20 CR, where Chibi is the only viable character. The robot and its new owner shared a deep relationship and spent most of their time in the lab training and eating cookies together after their hard work was done. They soon faced the same smasher who annihilated the duo previously in tournament, determined to get revenge. After a close set, they lost 1-2, causing them to do poorly in the next few days. They took this defeat as motivation to train even harder to improve and abuse everything possible in order to win a tournament someday. After finally making top 8 multiple times, a premiere for the cookie-loving smasher in an event long ago for the robot, they finally made it to grand finals. But in the end, they had to accept defeat to the Falchian. Despite this, the pair kept training in order to become the very best, even stronger, and finally awake as the high tier they both wanted Chibi to desperately be. However, these good days were not allowed to last any longer. 6 months after this alliance had formed, the smasher suddenly left, leaving Chibi crushed and lonely once again. There were a few players inspired by his previous movements, but it never felt quite the same. A few months later, the smasher returned as suddenly as he had left. It looked like the two of them were eventually going to reach the top, but things weren't the same anymore. The smasher had changed quite a bit in those months without Chibi. His synergy had become less potent, and they were both frustrated at themselves. In the end, they had to split up. It came up as a shock to everyone else, but the two of them knew it was the only thing right for them. Chibi, yet again, was lonely, and now that the other players interested in him had also gone extinct, he had finally gotten into a permanent bad mood, having only a small cookie stash as a reminder of his glorious days. He envied the Smasher's new partner, Tails, but in the end he had no choice but to accept their days as a team were over. Rumor has it that Chibi still has a cookie stash given to him a long time ago as a trophy of his glorious days. On rare occasions, the duo spends a few hours with each other to relieve their time together, but every time, Chibi was left alone again. Now he has to wait until either an old partner finally sees the errors of his ways, or hopes a new smasher arrives that will attempt to bring him up to the top once more. This story is passed down from generation to generation in hopes of finally finding the savior of 20 CR, the one who brings peace to the low tiers.